one of the members of parliament here, of course, Bensouda here, had also said, you didn't count pieces and pieces of some part of your documents, but I have your original. In fact, I was telling myself, if I run with this, I think you really have to look for me. Because all your documents are here, and they are the original.
They are.
Very well.
Yeah.
So, I am really concerned, Chair, I am deeply concerned, and I want the nominee to convince me, because I have gone through. I do not see, apart from the 3 certificates, most of which were one-day training, that touches around media, around broadcasting, around mass.
I emphatically address the Honorable Committee and say that in my experience, I have my working life, which is almost 14 or so years, later part of my life, I've actually been media and technology. What actually happens? What happens to leadership? What happens? A lot of knowledge is actually applied knowledge. You do not have to go to class to qualify in a particular area to apply that knowledge. And a lot of it has actually been gained by experience. Through you, Chair, I have participated in many, many media initiatives, both in my role at work and also where I've had exposure. In the process, I've actually engaged engineers,
okay.
I've engaged tech and all that,
okay.
as we implement.
Okay.
So there's a concept, Chair, called applied knowledge. And today, if you actually want to interrogate me on satellite technology, I can talk to you the A to Z, okay. Because in fact, our stuff comes from satellite.
All right.
I can tell you how you host a satellite, pin the signal, receive it, that's why it's called direct to home.
Yes.
And actually then encrypt and monetize.
Thank you.
So those are things that I've actually, out of experience, picked. And knowledge is also dynamic. The qualification I had as a business admin or MPA is basically just to open the door. How I use my capacity, and there is in management a called capacity. I actually can end up selling jet engines. Some of the people that actually work for General Electric are people who did Bachelor of Arts. They're not.
All right. So, comfortable enough, Chair. He has. Steve has really been able to convince us that the papers may not be there, but it's very good in the space that he's been able to operate from. Thank you. So let me move. Let me also make a.
Yeah. I want to have a write on what Honorable Kituri is saying. As much as I agree with the nominee explanation, but on reality, you cannot be a doctor if you did arts. So we cannot agree in totality that you can be anything. I mean, you can go to teach as a teacher and still go and be a pilot. So the academic must be, I mean, of important when you talk about professionalism. And again, on the same, I'm sorry to add, apart from the certificates, that is the degree and the master's, I'm so keen to understand is CP or CE, you know, the distance and the modality today. It is another thing. I would probably wish, Bwana nominee, if you had even taken time to advance yourself, as much as you've been in multi-choice Kenya, or whatever, you would have been in a position to go to all those communication and ICT world so that you fit very well. Otherwise, in this case, you're just a marketer. Thank you.
Yes, hold on. Allow me to rule the following to your statement. First, it's not a point of order. That is a point of argument. And I would not want to open it up as a point of argument because even in the space we are in, he gave an example of the terrestrial space. Right now, Engineer Nyamita will tell you the person who is big on terrestrial installations is one Elon Musk. He's very good at it. He has no single document he would produce on how he went through NASA for training. But that, again, I say is a point of argument. That's why I would not want to open it up as a discussion.
Yes,
Honorable
Chair, I would not, Chair.
It is for us as a committee to satisfy ourselves from his presentation that he is fit to hold office in the office that we are interviewing him for, and reminding ourselves also that that office requires for him to conduct many other functions beyond just the technical understanding and know-how. There is a space for leadership, a space for administration, a space for all these other policy and so on. So, Honorable Kitur, you're on the floor.
Thank you. I thought I'd put in a summary and say that I have had, I just wanted a confirmation in terms of his qualifications, and he has spoken. So it is for us to go prosecute when we will retreat back for our report writing. Now, allow me, Chair, also to declare an interest that, Chair, apart from being in the Committee of Information and Innovation, Chair, I so happen to have been as well in the Committee of Public Investments, Social Services, Administration, and Agriculture, where in that space, Chair, we audit, and sometimes also, Chair, during the process of the audit, there are issues that come up that may require us to do investigation. And today, the nominee here has mentioned potential areas of conflict, which I think stands tall. I want to indicate, Chair, that I participated in the investigation of the MultiChoice Africa, the GOtv, MultiChoice Kenya, in regard to relationship with KBC. Chair, I have read the letter, or rather the memorandum, that was forwarded by my former chair, Emmanuel Wangwe, and I want to agree in totality in what he wrote. And for those who are here, because I was in this committee, I was part of it, where it says it's on this background that the committee submits this memorandum regarding the appointment of Mr. Stephen Isaboke, the nominee for the position of Principal Secretary, State Department of Broadcast and Telecommunication, has been convoluted with personal commercial interest, and being a shareholder with an estimated value of 1.4 billion, the committee is of the view that the nominee will be suited to serve in other state departments to avoid conflict of interest. However, I want now to pick on the response of Mr. Isaboke, and that will be just my line of questioning. Because, as I said, I immersed myself in this space. I was in the entire interrogation phase. So what I'll be asking you is just basic questions, and I'll give you also an opportunity, sir. You can give one or two explanations, but I'm still of the opinion that as much as possible, try to reduce the, let's get to the point so that we are able to finish this on record time.
If that could apply to you too.
Chair. Well, that is the guidance of the chair. Thank you. In your response, you indicated that you raised a preliminary objection. Was this supposed to gag us as members of the committee from making a response on this? You cited the Republic versus Nairobi City Council in a case there regarding audit issues that happened between 2016 and 2017 for KBC. Is it in any way, were you trying to gag us from having the opportunity to interrogate you today?
Through the Honorable Chair, no.
Thank you. Second, we did this investigation because, one, and I've seen in your CV, around 2011, you were still in MultiChoice Kenya. Is that the case, sir?
I transited in November 2011 to become regional director. So 2011 was actually a transition year.
Thank you very much. Yeah. In the audit, one of the things that came up, and our concern actually around that time, is the fact that KBC the audit that was done for the relationship between, for MultiChoice Kenya, was that you had made a profit of 116, no, the portion for KBC was supposed to have been given 116 million, but 96 million was paid. So one of the things we were investigating around that time was 20 million. And I'm saying this because you were actually the managing director, were you, of MultiChoice Kenya within the period of that business?
I was a managing director, but I'm unable to comment about the specific numbers because that would normally be done by finance.
Thank you. Can I ask you, is the relationship between KBC, in your view, with MultiChoice Africa, is that relationship of benefit, in your view, to KBC and Kenyans?
Through the chair, I neither work for MultiChoice Kenya nor KBC, so really constrained to make a comment in terms of their structure because those are two willing entities that have actually partnered. But I can comment for the period that I was actually a director. We did actually pass benefits to KBC, working to, over the cumulative period, almost 1.8 billion in terms of dividends paid from MultiChoice Kenya to KBC.
Thank you.
So to answer Honorable Kitur's question succinctly, your submission is that in the duration that you at MultiChoice, KBC stood to benefit from the relationship that KBC had with MultiChoice.
Yes, I can say that, Chair.
Thank you very much. Are you aware, because you're still in MultiChoice, around 2017, 2018, and 2018, 2019, there were no dividends that were paid to KBC besides the fact that in 2014, 2015, they paid for 80 million. Are you in any case aware that there were no dividends that were paid?
So through the chair, I'm no longer in MultiChoice. As I said to the committee earlier, I left in December 2020. I am unable to comment about the specific years is referring to dividends.
I am saying that because at that time, sir, you were working for MultiChoice Africa.
Through the chair, MultiChoice Africa is a separate entity from MultiChoice Kenya. I was never operationally involved.
Okay, thank you.
Honorable
Let's
members,
move
I
on.
want to call this to order so that we can protect Honorable Kitur as he is asking his questions.
Oh, all right. Yeah, thank you, sir. The next question I wanted to ask you is, were you aware of the board members of KBC and MultiChoice Africa? How many members were there for KBC and how many were there for MultiChoice Africa?
Through the chair, I seek clarification. Board members in which entity?
In MultiChoice Kenya, sorry, MultiChoice Africa and MultiChoice and KBC in the entity that they had as MultiChoice Kenya.
Through the chair, I do not want to second guess. That's information that can be found in the CR12 for that company.
Thank you very much. I just want to assist you. There were 2 members from KBC and there were 3 members from MultiChoice Africa. And in that case, the chairman was always from KBC. However, KBC never had an opportunity to have representation in the management of MultiChoice Kenya. And therefore, anytime, like in 2017, 2018, 2019, no dividends was being paid to KBC in their due right, but KBC had no way, completely sealed, from being able to see what actually, how much is this relationship making. But that notwithstanding, allow me, Chair, now to move to the next one. Sir, did you participate or in any way contribute, if at all my memory serves me right, in the making of the Kicker Bill 2009 or its regulations?
Yes, I did.
Thank you very much, sir. I'll come for you. So let me go to the next question. Again, when did you join GOtv?
So again, through the chair, I was nominated by the group to actually be one of the directors on the GOtv when it was incepted, and this is what I said. There is a period between incorporating a company where there is no activity and operationalizing a company. That's why I did not want to pin to a specific period. But because of my position as an executive in the group proposed me, among other colleagues, to actually sit in, because a company is run by fiduciary. So people must be appointed to actually be directors, and as one, among others, if you look at those CR12 for those periods, you'll see different people actually, among yes others, standing in for GOtv.
Thank you very much for that fantastic answer. Maybe also to still take you back a bit, did you say that you participated in supporting, the amendment of the Kicker Bill 2009, sir?
Very much so, I confirm.
Fantastic, thank you, sir. In one of the clauses, that is clause 10, yeah, I think 4810, it says ownership and control. One says, no persons other than the public broadcaster shall be directly or indirectly entitled to more than one broadcast frequency or channel for radio or television broadcasting in the same coverage area, provided the Commission shall prescribe a time frame for existing stations to comply with this requirement. So, sir, you say you are aware about this, that then it is important that they were not going to allow, and also I also picked it also in your response, but you are not going to allow more than one single entity to hold shares in more than one broadcasting signal distribution?
Yes.
Thank you. And you still stand by that? You think it was a very good suggestion?
So, Chair, if I can get just to clarify, this refers to signal distribution network, and KPC already had Signet, which was a signal distribution network, and the regulation is referring to, which I'm familiar with, precludes any other entity having two signal distribution networks like Signet. In this case, I was aware of the KICA Act, and in the course of negotiation with KPC, it was incumbent on KPC to draw back and say, even if you are offering us this, shareholding, we're actually encumbered by regulation. It will have been KPC to respond back. And secondly, there is also cases where an operator can seek waivers. You can seek a waiver. You're relieved and allowed, by exception, to actually do. And those will be the kind of instruments, typically, because people pay to find solutions where KPC will have approached to actually be allowed. I'm just answering back.
Yeah. So, Chair, in 2012, that is when our nominee got the opportunity to work for GOtv. They engaged KBC, knowing very well that they were not able to actually sign that partnership on account of the fact that, in 2009, you had passed a law that would lock KBC not to be able to actually engage. Is it true or false?
Not true.
All right, let me move to...
Chair, let me inform Honorable Kitur, if you allow me, Chair, that...
On a point of information, you'd have to seek it from Honorable Kitur.
Okay.
That's your standing orders.
Chair...
Are you ready to be informed?
Yes, sir, I wouldn't mind to be informed, sir.
Mheshimiwa Kimayu.
Thank you.
Chair, at that time that KBC was in negotiation with GOtv, they already knew that KBC had given their frequencies to Signet. And the law did not allow a scenario where you can hold with multiple, players. So that's why the nominee, Honorable Kitur, was asking him whether he was aware of that part of the law, which he participated in the amendment, that you are not allowed to share the frequencies with more than two partners. Thank you, Chair.
Chair.
That's why I've passed it, Chair.
There are already too many microphones on. Kindly, Gideon, just Bernard, cede the floor first. Member from Boni.
Thank you, Chair. Point of information to Kitu. Is it granted?
Yes. Granted, sir. Granted, sir.
You are laboring too much on the directorship of Isaboke in GOtv. In the self-declaration form, he wrote 2011. Is he in agreement? That is the date of first appointment into GOtv to present time. Then from there you can prosecute.
Mine was just a point of order, Chair. And Honorable Kitur is actually just in order. But I think we know the lawmaking process, and whereas the nominee will agree that he participated in the lawmaking, we all know that he could have only participated as part of public participation. So really we cannot...
No,
yeah,
Chair.
it's the truth. Because Chair, we are the ones who make laws.
No.
So when we get... allow me, this is a point of order. Anyone who is not in any lawmaking organization can only participate as part of giving information during public participation. So really, I think it would also be unfair, and Kituri, you're in order, but it would be unfair to try and say you participated in the lawmaking, and now, because he participated to the extent that he could only give information as public participation, but lawmaking is actually a reserve of certain entities in the country.
I think,
hold on. This is critical. I was reserving it for when we retreat to write so that we know what we can admit. However, because Honorable Mark Nyamita has brought it, the process of making law is clear to everybody. The president in office today, we all remember, he was sworn in by the Constitution of Kenya, 2010. But in the process of the making of that Constitution, we know on which side the president stood in the process of making that law. So I do not think that the Kika Act was actually made by Stephen Isaboke.
No, Chair. I think all of you are mistaking what I said, Chair.
We do not know.
No. Can I explain myself to you, sir?
Honorable Kituri.
Yeah.
We do not even know what his contribution in terms of the peripheral place he would have taken in terms of public participation. We do not know what his position was on the Kika that we are operationalizing. So thank you very much, Honorable Nyamita. I wanted to reserve that at the time we retreat. Honorable Mumina.
Chair, I think we need not to confuse each other here. Honorable Kituri is very clear when he asked that question. He wanted to be clear on the fact that he participated, and that means he knows what he was participating in, what the law says, and what he doesn't say.
Now, Honorable Mumina.
So, Chair, on that side, you guys are interrupting the flow of questions. Kindly, Chair, guide and protect the rest of us who are asking questions. We are doing this for the public.
Honorable Mumina, you're totally out of order. It's totally out of order. Because what Honorable Mark Nyamita said is a point of fact, and it is even a point of law, that the participation of the nominee to the lawmaking process, if he is not a member of parliament, is peripheral. At the point at which he would have come in, would have been maybe at the point of public participation. Yeah. No more. So anyway, it is not to open this up for debate. Honorable Kituri, I will protect you now to ask your questions.
Thank you. And maybe to give a bit of clarity, the reason why, Chair, I'm doing the quick fire is just to bring to the attention of Isaboke that